Hi, I'm Jamie Scott with Third Power, and we're hanging out in Durham, North Carolina at Sound Pure Guitars. And one of the exciting things for me as an amp builder is I create these amplifiers, and of course they live in my head, and then they come out of my head and turn into reality. And as I look around, you know, it's pretty incredible that some of these things, this was, you know, at one point this was just a dream. How about taking American and British and putting it into one amplifier? And eventually we have an amp called Dreamweaver, and that's kind of our flagship. And you know, as I look around again, Dream 50 Plexi and British Dream over here, and the Dream 40 AC here. We've got all these cabinets. To kind of understand the 30,000 foot view of what Third Power is all about is I'm making amplifiers that the goal is that they sound like a mastered record. There's lots of great guitar amps out there. As a guitar player, I appreciate them. As a recording engineer, I know what it's like to try to capture what the guitar player is trying to get in his sound, and then I've got to turn that into the magic that he really wants to hear in the studio. And so I set out years ago. You know, I've been on a 25-year journey on getting guitar tone to sound like a record as an artist, and then, like I said, as an engineer. And so Third Power is kind of that. 5 years ago, I set out to really do this. And before it was ever a company, the hard work of making that happen. I would work on an amplifier, and I would record it into Pro Tools, and then I would, you know, put the various plugins as I'm trying to match a tone, make sure I've got the right guitar. You know, if it's a Hendrix riff, well, I've got to play a Strat. I've got to be on the right pickup position. And I would just track, and I would compare the two sound files. And I got to the point where, you know, I may have required 6 plugins in Pro Tools to really nail the finished sound. And so my challenge to myself, this was before Third Power there was no inkling of this being a company. My challenge to myself was, let's turn off one plugin, and let's turn off another, and let's turn off another. And so I open the amp, and I start tweaking it and getting to the point, okay, I turned off 1. I still got 5. And tweak it some more, turn off 1. Still got 4. And I got down to 2 plugins left, and I could not get rid of those other 2 plugins until it hit me, the cabinet. I have to work on the cabinet. And so I looked around me here. I was, you know, I had my own home studio, and I tried to have no parallel walls. You know, you've got some absorptive material, bass traps in the corners. You're controlling the room that you're making these sound decisions in. And yet, you know, I was looking at my cabinet, and not this one, but I was looking at the cabinet I was using, and it was a very popular 412 cabinet. And there was this kind of halo. The sound of that cabinet was imprinted on everything I was trying to match. So I said, let me try to remove that imprint. And so I got together with a buddy, and we made a triangle. Just no parallel walls. Boom, let's go triangle. And then I tried the bass traps in the corners, and as soon as I got that done, all of a sudden I had this new universe to craft the sound in. And I was able to eliminate all the plugins and go fader for fader. And you know, you knew it was me playing versus Hendrix, of course, but we were nailing the sound. We were nailing it, you know, the feel of it. We can put a spectrum analyzer up, and I was able to compare, and we had the sonic signature. And I listened to all the classics, whether it was, you know, from Cream to Van Halen to Tom Petty, Fleetwood Mac, Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Beatles, all of it. And that was kind of the beginning point of, that was the goal. We achieved that goal, and then I felt like, you know, we've got a foundation here and a story to tell, and that's kind of how we launched the company, was just out of that, let's have a mastered record sound. And it's been great as far as the acceptance for the Third Power sound. We've got, you know, guys like Dan Huff, Pete Kipley, Chris Stevens, Paul Ebersold, Justin Niebank. I mean, there's a ridiculous number of Grammys just on the one hand of those studio guys, and they're tracking with Third Power just all the time and relying on that. And the goal was, if I can get Third Power on the record, then the guy that's got to go tour and play that record, I got a chance to get him to use it. If I just go after every live guitar player and try to get them to pay attention to Third Power, I mean, here it is, 2008, 2009, that was going to be a tougher thing. So let's change the story and let's go, all right, we make them sound like records. And then get the guys that cut the records to use Third Power, and then the guys that have to go tour those records, get them to check out Third Power, and the chances are we'll get that. And we've landed guys like Joe Walsh, we've landed guys like Lenny Kravitz, guys like I'm making a guitar amp for Jason Isbell, Jason's guitar player. Sadler Vaden has been touring with Third Power for the last year plus, and so it's blossoming out. And that leads us to kind of why I'm here at SoundPure in Durham, North Carolina. Is we're launching the Mark II version of Third Power amplifiers. And Mark II is kind of taking everything we've learned, all of my life experiences, and everything we've learned from Mark I, and just packing it all in to basically the next level up of our product line. It really emerged out of experience, certainly passion to create the best possible amps and cabinets that we could create, and then really this emerging new capabilities, new facility, we could actually produce these things. And so somewhere this summer it was just like Third Power, the old Third Power was done. And so we went into Mark II mode, and I started creating and designing, and the new emerging capabilities. This is, for me, exciting. I don't normally talk about pricing, but in this case, this is really important for people to know. With our new facility, and yeah, we got overhead and all of that, but because we can produce the products in-house, it's allowed us to take and do Mark II, but all our prices came down by 10%. So we make better product, 100% quality control. I mean, this cab, the cab isn't made by somebody else and then I get it in a box and then it stays a box until I finally load it. Well, we make this cab. I've seen this from the conception to birth, in a sense. And that kind of quality control is just, I mean, it's absolutely exciting. So to be able to have that kind of control and awareness of the product, in a sense, aware of this guy being made, aware of this guy being made. It's on site, watching the Tolex, watching the piping go on, and it's all done by hand in-house. And to do that and be able to drop the prices by 10%, I mean double digits, it's pretty unheard of. And I'm thrilled to be associated with a dealer like SoundPure, because these guys have come on board. They've brought in my product line. I flew out here from Nashville to have the global launch of Mark II. And there's a number of videos. We actually have shot a video for every product. So if you've tuned in for this video and you're at this point, just know that there's a ton of videos that actually demonstrate these. We've mic'd them up. We're in the SoundPure studio. The sounds are great. There's some quick little 2-minute videos that kind of wet your whistle on each amp. If you want a deeper dive on the SoundPure website, you'll be able to click on the Third Power product pages, and there's going to be high quality audio clips and more videos. So it's one of those things, stay tuned. I want you personally, as an amp designer, I want you to experience what I get to experience daily in making them. And when you watch the videos, you'll see I'm having genuine fun plugging into these amplifiers as a guitar player. You need to feel it. Whether you feel it here at the store, or you feel it in your studio or at your house, you've got to check it out. So it's a privilege to be associated with SoundPure, and I'm excited, and they're behind this. And thanks for checking out this video. And there you go. I'm Jamie from Third Power. Cheers.